Um, okay, and we're live.
Woo!
Woo, hello. Welcome everyone to Havok Season 8 Anthology Vice and Virtue. Yay. Joining us here so far is Jane Marie. You probably know her. She's one of our editors and much other things at Havok as well. We also got Lisa and Ryan, Rachel Dibb, Mia, yes, Chandler, Sophia Hansen, Victoria Roberts, Nathan and Haley and John. Woo! So we have a full night ready for you guys. All right. We'll be playing a few games, having author interviews. One of the games we are going to be playing throughout the night is our Vice and Virtue. Oh my goodness. Bingo. So you probably saw this on both Facebook, and there was an email that went out for it. It came with that, as well as a sheet with the words you can fill in for it. So throughout the night, I'll be pulling words out and you'll mark them off. For if you get 5 in a row or 4 corners, then you will win one of 4 enhanced swag packs. One beautiful author that we know volunteer is having her book come out, and she gave us and she's providing prizes for today's launch party. So yes, and so 4 winners will get swag packs, and 1 winner, the one who fills their entire bingo card, marks everything off first, will win a book as well as swag. Yay, thank you so much for that. We'll also be playing our popular Havok Mad Libs, and Jane Marie will be heading that up. I hear it's a funny story. I haven't had a chance to look at it though yet. All
Me
right,
neither. It's a surprise for us all.
so we're gonna have a lot of Havok here tonight. All right, sounds good. All right, so also they'll be chatting in the sidebar amongst the authors, and also we invite any authors who show up to join us on the live stream so we can see you and chat with you. All right, let's get this party started. Let's see. Oh, and so anyone who's just virtually watching this, if you get a bingo, make sure to reach out on our Instagram or Facebook. We are watching those, and if you get a bingo, say you get a bingo, and we'll check it out and we'll claim the prizes for you. All right, so it's not just for our authors here on video, it's for everyone in attendance tonight. All right, so let's start with having our authors introduce themselves and telling us a little bit about your stories. So authors who are here so far, describe your story in 25 words or less and introduce yourself and what theme you wrote for. Let's see, let's start with Victoria.
Oh man, right on the spotlight. Okay.
Sorry.
Hi, I'm Victoria. You might know me as the Sunflower Girl. I write uplifting stories that I call sunflower stories. I have 2 stories in the anthology, and I guess the best way to describe them in 25, man, I didn't prepare for this. I need to prepare 25 words or less. It's pretty much proofreaders and editors trying to fight robots, and they can trace humanity because robots can't see typos, but they can. So their proofreaders and editors get to be the superheroes fighting all these robots. And you meet Meg and Brody, and they have lots of different adventures that I won't spoil, but that's the main plot. They're both in the same world, so I'd say that describes both of them.
Oh gosh, and doesn't that sound like real life nowadays, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Excellent. All right, thank you. And Maria, how about Maya, excuse me, Maya, how about you? Tell us a little bit about your story, introduce yourself.
So mine is for selfishness sacrifice, and it's about a treasure hunter couple that get into a lot of trouble in temple ruins, and the girl has some really awful things happen to her.
Sounds about right in temple ruins, right? Excellent. All right, thank you. And Rachel, how about you?
Hi, I also wrote for Selfishness and Sacrifice, and my story is called The Mushroom Conundrum, and it's about a gnome who turns her ex-boyfriend into a mushroom and is trying to get a therapist to help her figure out which mushroom of a bunch are him.
That was one of my favorites. I love
I
that
remember
one.
that one. That was funny. Excellent. Thank you. All righty. Nathan, how about your story? Did you get one in?
You're muted.
No, you're muted, Nathan.
Read his lips. We can
Oh gosh,
pretend.
I'm not that good.
We can pretend.
Sorry.
He wrote a story about.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll let Lisa describe it. I'm sure that would be an interesting. I did two. One was a very happy. Well, it was for laziness and diligence, and it is. I would describe this quickly. Boy gets sucked into video game, and realizes it's not as easy as he thought, and he learns a valuable lesson about diligence. How's that?
Sounds about right. That does sound like fun. My gosh.
And the other one is a much darker, where someone has to make a choice between kind of going into a weird thing that they don't understand with in like a it's harder to describe. It's been a long time since I wrote it, and I'm trying to remember the whole plot. They realize there's a lot of new stuff in their world that they didn't know existed, but they have to accept that maybe the world's very different than what they had thought it was. So you can accept the exciting, but also the dangerous new. So
Interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Sounds like a lot of fun. All right. Ryan, how about you? Tell us a little bit about your story in 25 words or less.
Oh, okay. Actually, kind of similar to Maya's, I think. I went with the selfishness sacrifice. A king has hoarded all of the treasure, and a thief has to break in through a hidden tunnel. That's the best I got.
Sounds good. It sounds like selfishness and sacrifice is the popular one tonight. Oh gosh. Haley, hello. How are you doing? Want to tell us a little bit about your story?
Yes. So I have two stories in the anthology. One of them is Cadenza, which is about basically a prodigy pianist who stopped playing because of a tragic incident a couple of years ago, and then basically her kind of journey back to being getting back into music. And that one was for Rage and Peace. And then the other story is A Poisonous Beauty, which is for the Pride Humility, that one. Gotta keep all the vices straight, you know.
Yeah, I know.
And that one is a Snow White retelling.
Nice. I was wondering if
That's
it was a
cool.
retelling when I heard the title, but I think I was going for like now I can't remember what it was. When I first heard that, I didn't immediately go for Beauty and the Beast. I went for something else, but I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
no,
Speaking of Beauty and the Beast and Beauties and Beasts, our Havok libs are up and running. So everyone should jump over, and the first prompt is to put in a suggestion of a royal title, like king, or I don't know, beast. Could beast be a royal title?
Oh, he was
Why
a
not?
prince. Why not?
Why not?
I believe it would have
So
to
put those
be your beastiness.
There you go. There you go. So apparently you can use some creativity with these prompts for the libs. So go wreak some havoc over there,
Always.
guys.
The more creative, the better. And remember, I have to read whatever it settles on in the end. So, you know,
What,
that'll be
Nathan?
fun.
Nathan, what did
Wait,
you make me
in the chat
say?
window or where?
What did you
There
get
should
last
be
time, Lisa?
I made you say something that was, yes, it was.
It was a relation. It was like my great grandmother's
Yeah, uncles, cousins, brothers,
once removed or
sisters.
something.
Yeah.
And I had to say it like 4 times.
If I
That's
remember,
fantastic.
if I remember
link-
correct, oh, sorry. What was you saying, Lisa?
The link to play the Havok libs, you'll just want to leave it open, and in like another web window, it was in the chat. If you logged on late, I can post that again for you. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can find it in the description. Oops, I just posted it to Jane. Let me try that again.
Hey, that works.
I very much want Jane to play. Okay.
All
Watch out.
right. And as we continue to work on the libs, Jennifer, you want to share a little bit about your story?
Sure, let me unmute myself. I have a story where let's see, I need to remember how to phrase it too, because it's been a while. I based it kind of off of a philosophy I heard a lot when we were all locked down for COVID, that, you know, we can't risk, you know, going out into the world. We have to lock down and stay safe. And so I kind of wrote a story where there was a society that took that to the extreme, where a lot of people stayed really safe and locked down into padded rooms and VR and stuff. And so there's 2 kids who decided to kind of go out and explore the real world and you know, see the risks of life, but realize that life is about risk in some elements. So that's my story. It was cowardice and courage I did for. So
Nice. I'm partial to that one because I also wrote a story for courage and courage and cowardice this season.
I kind of have trouble a little bit with saying that particular prompt. I don't know why. I always stumble saying that. So I feel bad.
I think for a second there, I started creating a new vice and virtue because I think I started combining those 2 words there for a second. They're combined. You get them at the same time. There you go. All right. All right. Sophia, did you get a story in for this season? No, sadness. Next time.
No, but I edited a couple of them.
Ooh. Maybe she should share her editing experiences with us. Yeah.
In the meantime, everyone needs to vote for their favorite of the Havok Lib suggestions. There's some funny ones there, so vote for the best.
All right. All right, as we continue to vote, John, you want to share with us a little bit about your story?
Yes, hello. Actually, I have 2 stories, but they are both in the same world. Same main character, an amateur superhero who is indestructible but feels pain. And my stories were in Courage and Cowardice, where he learns courage by meeting his idol Comet Woman. Pride and humility, where he goes up against his nemesis, super guy, whom he copied, but eventually.
Excellent. Thank you. Oh, I didn't get a chance to read the collection yet of the anthology, but I'm totally looking forward to when I can hold that paperback in my hands. All right, Hannah, you want to share with us about your story a little bit?
Sure. I was hoping if I was quiet enough, nobody would notice me.
Oh, sorry, you can't get away from me.
It's okay. It's okay. I have 3 stories in the anthology, and one of them is in selfishness, it's Pride and Humility. I'm sorry, Pride and Humility, and it is about the 7 deadly sins of pride. And he makes a bet with his sister that he can get anyone in the whole world to act prideful, and then he finds a girl that ruins his plans. And it's that's probably one of my favorites that I've written. So,
Oh, that sounds like fun. Yay. And you said you had 2 more in there?
yes. And then the other one is, it was a Christmas story submitted to Wacky Wednesday, and I'm trying to find the actual title of it so that I don't mess it up if I can go back. Let's see. Anyway, it was a Christmas one, and it was based on A Christmas Carol. And so it is also about one of the 7 deadly sins. And it's called A Christmas Equation. And it's set after the Christmas Carol. Like, Scrooge has now gone good, and so now his 7 deadly sin is suddenly out of a job, and so she's trying to tempt Scrooge back into to being selfish again. So,
I remember that one.
yes, that one was lots of fun. And there was like a little reference to the Muppets Christmas Carol, because the Muppets Christmas Carol is by far the best version.
Sadly, I've never seen the Muppets Christmas Carol.
It is
Sorry,
so
the reference probably went right over my head.
I think I referenced that there was a singing frog somewhere in the scenes.
Oh,
Yeah, you gotta watch Muppets Christmas Carol. Like, that's a staple.
It is so good.
When I first started at Havok, I was on the editorial team for Tuesday, so Techno Tuesday, and I admitted to our head of Havok, Andrew, that I had never seen The Matrix, and I got in a little bit of trouble. Yes, I probably should watch that one of these days. All right, so we should probably start with this bingo game as well before we go on to more questions. So if you haven't downloaded a bingo sheet, it is available. If you got any of our emails, it's available via in a download for our email, as well as on the Facebook party page. So you should be able to download it there. There'll also be a list of words. I don't have that currently printed up with me. And what you'll do is you select words from that list and fill them in on your own in the different squares in any order or pattern you desire. And then throughout the course of the party, I'll go ahead and select words from this cup, and I'll read them. You'll mark them off on your bingo list. When you get a bingo, you'll message us via Facebook or Instagram. And we have people watching those. And then the first 4 to get bingos will be winning one of the Swig prize packs for the upcoming enhanced book. Let me look that up here quickly.
This book right here
What was
by
that?
Candace Cade, and it's amazing.
I haven't got to read it. So how about you tell us a little bit about it, Jane? Tell us about it. Sounds like you
Oh,
if you read it,
gosh.
you tell us about it.
Well, it's set in the future, so it's sci-fi dystopian, in a culture where everyone has like genetic modifications, but the main character does not, and she is trying to fit in with the rest of society and pretend that she is enhanced, but she is not. And her secret can only stay secret for so long.
Excellent. Thank you. All right. So I'm going to share a link to where you can get the bingo card. So you can win swag packs for that. There's 4 of them available. Or the first person who gets all their squares checked off will win a copy of the book, as well as the swag pack for it. All right. So we'll go ahead and maybe start with that. Maybe we'll go ahead and do 2 of them to start. All right, so the first word for the bingo is sacrifice. And then the second here is steampunk. All right. So Jane, how's the Mad Libs coming there, the Havok Libs? Are we on to a new one?
We are. It's time to squeeze your brain for a size adjective. So an adjective describing the size of something. So large, small, minuscule, infinitesimal. Be
like
specific. The more specific, the funnier it is.
You're welcome.
All right. Sweet. All right. Well, so the next question I have here, I kind of just would like people to shout out their thoughts and ideas, kind of a round table it here. Oh, you know what? I never asked Lisa. Do you have a story in the anthology for staff? Because I know our staff get a chance to submit.
Actually, I do. I have a story about a pair of dueling gnomes. They're named Noel and Nolan.
I like it.
Gnoll and Gnolan. And I did a dictionary search for all of the words that start with GN, and I tried to include all of them in the story. So
Ooh.
yeah, there aren't that many GN words, so it wasn't that difficult, although I did have to look up what some of them meant.
Can
Wow.
I ask how you got Gnostic in there?
You'll have to read it and see.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure Gnostic was in there. Yeah, so and there was a new.
well, if I read it and it's not in there, I'll have to message you, go, hey, Lisa, what'd you do? You missed this word. What'd you do?
Not good
Well
enough.
then, yes, I'll if I
Try
didn't put it
again.
in there, then for the upcoming anthology, I will write a story about a Gnostic new.
Sounds great.
Perfect.
Perfect. Oh, and then
Caroline said she'll be looking for the word Noki.
ah,
That is in there.
yes. I also have a story in there. It's called Virtual Courage. It's for courage and cowardice. And it's also deals with someone who got sucked into a video game, but they're actually at the end of the game and needing to go home, and someone doesn't want to. So it kind of deals with kind of the courage of actually facing the things you fear the most, sort of thing, and not just avoiding them. And that maybe strength and courage is more than just, the physical. All right. And then, so this next question I have for all of you. So if you had to choose, which you all did, vice or virtue, and why? And go ahead and shout
Do you
out the first
mean-
person who wants
Do
to.
you mean for a story or as we live our lives?
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking
Would
I've
you
already
rather
shown.
be a coward or courageous?
I'm thinking I've already shown my vice.
There we go.
So-
Dr. Pepper, I approve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly thought the requirements for submitting to theme was to fit both in there. So I definitely fit both in there, vice and virtue. So both. My answer is both.
Yeah,
I was in the same boat.
yeah, I know what you mean. Because it definitely writing the story, it felt like you had to feature the one in order to counter it with the other, or at least to emphasize the other. So you almost needed both of them in your story to really show them off. All right. All right, and so then how about in general, what is your favorite type of character, villain or hero?
Mine is definitely a hero. I've not gotten on board the I love villains thing that everybody does these days.
Yeah, I know
Not
what
for
you
me.
mean.
Villain.
Hate me if you want. Make
Yeah,
me your
villain.
villain.
I know. So you see at least at Halloween and stuff, all the costumes out that they're advertising. There's heroes there, but so much of the time it's like, at least with Star Wars, even you see all the Star Wars villains that you can get, and it's like, come on, where's the Jedi? I want the Jedi costume.
Bring back the heroes. Come
Yes,
on.
yes.
Victoria, what do you think? I'm just gonna randomly call out names.
I was about to jump in. I don't want to interrupt y'all.
Oh, yeah.
I like when there's a strong hero to root for. I'd rather root for the hero, but I do appreciate. I don't love I'm not into like I would marry the villain, but I appreciate a well-developed villain. Like I like a villain. If you're gonna give me a villain story, make it a villain that I can actually understand. Like, oh, if I made that decision, I could go down that road too, and it's all like one decision away kind of thing.
Yeah.
I still prefer a really good hero. But if it's gonna be a villain, give me a really good one. Not
a
too
good one.
cool, but to like kind of at least understand why they went that way or whatever. So
Mm.
Yeah, that makes me think of like Rumpelstiltskin from the Once Upon a Time TV series. If you ever watched that one, you know, I'm not a villain person, but his story made me feel for him so much that I'm like,
it
oh
is really good at making you like love him one second and then hate him the next. Yeah, they did
no.
really good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I like really capable villains. Like, you know, it's fun to watch like the Hogan Heroes villains every once in a while because they're light and they're funny. But like reading or watching villains that are really, really capable of their job, and it just makes them that much more impressive and terrifying. So you have a respect for them because they can do so much and they are such a formidable foe. But then obviously I do vote for the hero, you know, 99% of the time. So I don't want the bad guys to win, but sometimes you can't help but be like, okay, I'm very impressed with you. You have my respect. But
I saw an interesting quote about villains versus heroes, and it was that a villain is someone who is willing to sacrifice the world for someone he loves, while a hero is someone who is willing to sacrifice someone he loves to save the world.
That's a good summary.
It's also a good reminder for us writers that we need to do as much development on our villains as our main characters, maybe more. I know that I've fallen into the trap many a time where I'm just like, he's the bad guy because he's bad. And then I wonder why my villain is so lame.
So I do that. I think that, you know, a villain in his own head is a hero. And so then I have to come up with why. And then he becomes like injured, like the injured guy. And then I end up liking him. And then he turns out to be like a hero. And then I have to go find another villain. So yeah, it's a problem. It's a problem for me.
Redemption arcs. That's what you're doing. You're working on redemption arcs.
I was going to actually
Like
say
the
that
Zuko type.
heroes to villains or villains to heroes are kind of interesting looks at it. It gives you a little bit of both, and then you can explore how you can escape the trope almost, because is your hero a hero because he's a hero, or is it because XYZ, and if you take that away, it becomes a villain.
Yeah.
Or of course, vice versa.
Exactly, right. It's like Victoria was saying, you know, just the tip of the scale right there. Maya, you were gonna say something, I think.
I was like tacking on that it's a lot like Zuko from Avatar: The Last Airbender. I love that kind of villain where like there's the big villain, but then there's a smaller villain that ends up joining the hero's side at the end, and they're like all hurt, but it's awesome. Like that's my favorite kind of villain.
Yeah.
Greatest fictional redemption arc of all time, right there. Like, you can't beat the Zuko arc.
All about redemption arcs.
But would Zuko be half as cool without Uncle Iroh? Just saying.
No.
Because he's like my favorite. I think I want to marry Uncle
cooler when he
Iroh.
got rid of the weird ponytail. And Iroh, yeah.
Once he got thrown in jail and he got really buff.
Oh my gosh, yes.
But as what Nathan mentioned, the hero to villain arc, I mean, my personal philosophy is that once someone believes the end justifies the means, that's when they take the step towards becoming a villain. And you can take the best hero, but when their cause overwhelms their care for the people, then they've lost it.
I'm getting so many good ideas. Sorry, Jennifer, go ahead.
Oh no. I have the worst timing with like trying to get in between comments. I read a trilogy a few years ago by a fairly popular author, but I don't know if I want to actually say who, because if you figure out the series, then you know I probably end up spoiling it. But the main character just spiraled through the whole series, and I'm like, this is not how I expected anything to go. And I think she might end up being the villain, and she ends up like taking over the world by the end. And I'm like, I was not prepared for any of this, because she started out as the protagonist and then just spiraled, and I think ended up accidentally killing the love interest right away too. And I'm like, yeah, I was not prepared for this book. But
Wow.
it's interesting to watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting to see the characters spiral
My
into
wife
making
says,
bad decisions.
I am so sorry.
Sorry.
My wife said that sounds really interesting. If you want to share the name of the book sometime, she wants to give that a try.
Yeah, share it.
Yes. Should I?
Yes.
Like, okay, if
Do
you
it.
don't want to know, I'll either
Plug
mute
your
me
ears
or
or
whatever.
mute something.
It's it's a trilogy by Marie Lu. I want to say it's The Young Elites or something like that. And it kind of starts out as your typical YA dystopia, and you're like, okay, I get the plots, and then it takes different turns, and you realize that a lot of it is the choices that you make, and she made the bad choices, and this is what happened. And it was worth reading. It wraps up well. It's not like super depressing for the entire thing, but yes, that's the one I recommend.
I think I've heard of that series. I think the first book is called Legends, right? Or something like that.
That's
Or
her
am I thinking
other
of a different one?
series. That's
Okay.
also a phenomenal series. That one's probably her best one, I think. The other one, I think she wrote after. I think that might be her second trilogy she wrote. But Legends was her first one.
Excellent. All right.
I
Anyone
must
with that? Oops,
I
sorry,
must
Jane.
quickly interrupt by saying, quick, go and vote. There are some most hilarious names for your best friend's mother. If your best friend's mother's name is one of these, let me know, because that would be hilarious. Please resume. Carry on.
I wonder
Okay,
if I should list the ones that didn't make the list.
maybe.
Please do. Please do.
I
So
just
in-
voted 5 for one of them because I want to hear you try to pronounce it, Jane.
Is it
I
the
bet
one that I put in?
probably.
No.
So there's Inger and then Sandy, Chrysanthemum. I'm finding it really hard to believe that's really your best friend's mom's name. Breath Spriggs. Really? Zephyr Zellwood, Monica, Lori, Letty, Jennifer. Those could be it. Sasha, Griselda, Stacy's mom, as in Stacy's mom's got it going on, I'm guessing. Brandy, Crystal, Cringeworth, and Louise. Louise didn't make it.
I like Cringeworth.
Yes, this is a minor character. You know, this isn't the major character name that we're going for here. So
Oh, and while we're also doing that, I'll get another word for our bingo. The next one is crime. All right. Who's ready for another question? All right. So if you've written for Havok for a while, what is your favorite part of writing for us, and what keeps bringing you back? Hannah, you've been writing for us for a while.
If Ray didn't do it, I was gonna do it. Rachel, you're next.
I'm next.
The super fun prompts, just there's always so much to like write about. I just love everything, all the suggestions that you guys give, and my own personal goals. I'm just like, all right, it's another month or it's another like season. I need to at least get like 2 stories published with Havok or something. I don't know. And then a couple months ago, it was, I've never gotten 5 stories, so I'm going to try and get 5 stories submitted to Havok in a month. And I about drove myself crazy, but it was fun.
Well, nice. I know what you mean by the 5 stories. There was back during casting call, I tried to get 1 in for each theme. I got in 5, burnt out by the end, and was not able to get in for the 6th, which is the one I was really looking forward to. So I'm a little bit like, oh, bummer. Hey,
Rachel Dib, I'm throwing you in.
You throwing me in for writing? For why I keep writing for Havok? I think it's a lot like what Hannah said. It's Rachel Dib. There you go. Yeah. Rachel Dib, go for it.
But when I'm with Hannah, it's like one of those goals. It's like I need to write, and it's having a deadline and something and a theme. And it's like, it kind of gets my mind working so that I do that and I write a story in a couple hours. I'm like, awesome. And then I can go and write other things and then come back to it and edit it. And then I love working with the editors too. It's great to see someone be like, oh, this was awesome, but you could work on it a little bit better here. And then seeing how that story develops and becomes even better than you ever thought it could be. It's really like uplifting in the writing process. So.
Yeah, no, I totally get what you mean. It always floors me how much sharper a story keeps getting through the editorial process. You know, you think, oh, this is great, it's right, you know, it's really great how it is now, and then it goes to the editorial process and you go, oh, that's way sharper than I thought it could, that I had imagined it could be.
Or even if they have an idea where it's like, okay, your idea is cool, but what if you did this? And so you think about it, and you're like, huh, and then you make that change and it's like, oh, this is so much better. But, you know, so.
Oh, yes, I love those. My gosh. What's been some of your favorite changes that you've ever made?
There have been a few endings where people have been like, I think you should probably do something a little bit that hits home more, I guess. And so I've changed the endings a couple times and they've been, I was like, yep, that needed to happen type deal.
Excellent. Yeah. Oh. And how about you, Jenith? Yeah, I know you've written a few stories for us as well. So is you, Haley. You two so quiet.
What was the question again?
So if you've written for us for a while, what is your favorite part of writing?
All right.
And what keeps bringing you back?
Okay, I was thinking that was the question we were still on, but I wasn't sure because I'm switching between a couple tabs, checking the Havok libs. But I don't know. And maybe this is more common than I think it is, but before I met Havok people and ran into Havok, I felt like I found a lot of anthologies or publishers that are like, oh yeah, submit your story and we'll edit it, wink wink, and it's like you just submit it and you basically get in, and there's not really any like competition or striving to be better. And then Havok, it's like you have to really think about your story and you can't just write whatever you want. It has to fit not just like the main theme, but the monthly theme and then the daily genre. It's like it actually makes you have to work within the system to get a story crafted, and then you have edits on top of that. And I really like how Havok forces you to take your writing seriously. That's something I really appreciate, and which makes me want to keep coming back because it forces me to actually write something besides my like main novel I'm working on and generate more ideas that way.
Yeah, it challenges you plus grows you as a writer, because I've been in several anthologies of what you're talking about where you submit, it's almost automatically that you get in, and then even the editing process afterwards, you sometimes you look at it and it'll go a little bit more like, okay, that was more felt like a proofread, not an edit. But not
yes.
nothing saying bad about those anthologies. It just feels like there's a little bit more growth, professionalism, and challenge with Havok than some other anthologies out there.
That's exactly it. And those kind of submitted and you get it anthologies, I think, have their place in the world, maybe to start out just to get your name in print a couple of times to get used to the process. But I'm appreciative that there's the next level with Havok and people like Havok. So
yes.
I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, and I just also love with Havok how it's just, you know, you get so much punch in such a very short amount of story time. Oh, and Haley, I know you've written for us several times. How about you?
Yeah, so I guess some of my favorite things about writing for Havok, like Hannah said, the goal setting of it. So like for World Tour, which is wrapping up already, like feels like it just started.
And then we're already.
And I set myself the goal of never into Legends. We just keep going, and it's great. But I set myself the goal of writing a story for every month of World Tour. And And I did, and it was good because it pushed me to do that, and ended up writing extra stories in there too, because I'm just like, ooh, this place is cool, and this idea is cool. Let's write it.
Let's go for it.
But yeah, so I like the goal setting that Havok has, and then I just really have discovered I really like writing flash fiction. I like how it lets you explore new ideas and discover, new things, or play with different genres you might not normally write. And then, the Havok team is great. I'm a little biased towards y'all, but
Nice. No, I know what you mean by the Havok team is great. I also feel like with our writers, maybe you don't always get this with other anthologies, but I feel like our writers get a chance to get to know each other, or even engage with each other a little bit more. And actually we get to build a community, which has always been one of the things I've loved about Havok too, is how much there's community here with our group.
yeah, I feel like the Havok community lends itself more to like other anthologies I've been in. It's tighter amongst that, like, you go to a conference like Realm Make, so it's like, oh, you write Havok, I write Havok, we're Havok buddies.
Two little phoenixes meeting each other. I like it, Lisa.
What I've liked about it is that 1,000 words, like if you've got a bunch of disparate ideas for a story and not sure you have the time to devote to making a novel out of it, 1,000 words is enough to give you like a little taste of what that novel would be, and you get it before some editors, and you get some reaction to it.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
know
almost like a proof of concept. Sorry.
There you go.
Exactly.
I know that more than once, I've written in a story world. I've started developing different story worlds we're having, and I'm like, yeah, I want to create this into a novel at some point. With all the other lists of ones I got going on. Victoria, you got some thoughts too?
You guys have kind of hit on some of them, but I would definitely say, because of the editors, I think they've helped me grow a lot in my writing, and they're also super patient. If you've been my editor, I think there's 2 stories that I wrote completely from they accepted it, and then they said, oh, this is the idea, or this idea works, and then I completely rewrote the story, and they were like, oh yeah, that was such a good rewrite. So I love the editors and how they work with you. I've said it in a couple of posts, I feel like they champion the stories that they choose, which I think is very helpful. And I know I think it was John was touching on, you get that 1,000 words and you get it published, and it feels like you're getting an accomplishment done between all the big things. It's not so great. It is great, but it's not great for idea generation though, because I'm only going to write these 6 books, and then you get all these ideas and you're like, well, if I can't make that into flash fiction, now I have a list of more ideas and stuff like that. But it's great in the long run because you'll never run out, right? If you ever have a shortage on ideas, just go to Havok and look at their prompts, and you'll be like, oh, look, there's an idea. So.
Exactly. It's kind of like your to be read pile, it'll never end, your to be written pile. It's also
Oh yeah.
Oh, well, excellent. And so, out of curiosity, and I know there's still several people who have written for us multiple times. Do we have anyone here tonight who's written for us for the first time this season? Oh, there we go, Ryan. What was it like writing for us for the first time? What did you enjoy the most?
Honestly, I think I enjoy, like others said, the feedback. I'd actually submitted a couple before the one that got accepted that got rejected, and I still got feedback. Like, how cool is that? That even when a story rejected, people give feedback.
Now you know why. To a point.
it was fun working the back and forth. Y'all are really good editors, but also I don't have a lot of time all the time to write, so it's really fun and challenging to say, you know what, I can write a 1,000-word story in an evening, and it gives me a nice little goal to check something off my list.
Exactly. Yeah, and it allows you to check something off your list, get some experience, and without keep going for thousands and thousands and thousands of words in a novel before you get to move on to the next step. Well, awesome, great. So we have announced our next season, Legends. What are you looking forward to this season? Let's just jump ahead to the future for a minute.
I was trying to understand. I mean, I like that it's got a lot of avenues. And I was trying to understand the way are are you still doing one each idea per month? Because the way it was described made it sound like you were going to be doing like all 6 themes interspersed throughout the month. Or am I wrong about that?
Nope. So it is going to be still a theme a month. So it's going to be like like the first theme we're accepting for is like legendary creatures. So you kind of like think like, you got your dragons, you got your griffins, you got your Loch Ness monster, Bigfoot. And then the next season, let me double check my list here. What's the season following that one? And the next season following that is people. So then, you got your legendary people. You got Odysseus, you got King Arthur, you got, wow, apparently I need to look up my people. But yeah,
But
so
I think that since a lot of legendary could involve legendary places and also legendary events,
there's definitely going to be crossover and mix and
yeah,
match.
and like if you ended up with too many if you ended up with too many good submissions for 1 month, well, this is a legendary person, but it takes place in a legendary, but it's in a place, and that's what I thought you were going for when you said that it was going to be like you were going to be doing them all season long.
So yeah, we're doing all these season long is more the legendary sort of thought process behind it. But how it's going to be kind of broken down is more, I think, your emphasis. So if you emphasize the person more, so like say with King Arthur, you do have all those different legends. You could emphasize actually on King Arthur, one of his knights, on the person and maybe what they're doing. Or you like if you decide you want to focus more on one of the locations, you could focus
But
on.
I mean, like King Arthur could involve Stonehenge, and then you've got a legendary person and a legendary place. So
Exactly. But if you wanted to, you can incorporate Stonehenge and the legends around it without including Arthur. So like putting in modern day, future. So that's how you'd end up emphasizing the place and what's going on in there and kind of the legends around it versus the person. So it's kind of how you emphasize it in those different ways, I think.
And I think that that's one of the great things, that if there is 1 month that we get a whole lot of great submissions and we can't publish them all because there's only so many days in the month. If our editors absolutely adore these stories, but we can't fit them all in, we have in the past been like, hey, please do these edits. Feel free to submit again next month because we really like this story. And if we can, we'd love to publish it. We just can't do it this month. So if it fits multiple themes, then, maybe, I can't promise anything, but maybe there's multiple opportunities or multiple chances to submit, but only after it's been edited.
Exactly. I've even tried to write something for one theme, didn't get it done in time, and a future theme comes up and I'm like, oh, this will work for that one. So like here for World Tour, I wrote one for Americas, that's a legend here in Minnesota about a Loch Ness monster that we have in one of our lakes. I didn't get it done in time. But for legends, legendary creatures, that would fit. So I could take time to edit that story up and submit it for that. So honestly, no story ever goes to waste.
Is that Loch Ness monster? Is that Champ? Is that the Champ Loch Ness monster in your lake?
Oh, yeah.
Wait,
Pippin.
Lake Champlain.
In
Well, no,
Minnesota?
that's Lake Champlain. Lake Champlain. So that's
Pippin,
New York.
Lake Pippin, actually.
Okay.
Lake Pippin,
Say that
actually.
again?
Pippin.
Okay.
I think Peregrine took, but Pippin.
Gotcha. I know there's a couple of different legends all over the place with different Nessies.
That's true. I think there's even a book by a Minnesota author of like cryptides of Minnesota or something. Cryptids, excuse me. Yes. Excuse me. Yeah. So I've never read it, but it definitely would have been worth reading.
But Cryptide would be an excellent story title. It could be like, the cryptids are coming out on the tide, or the ocean itself was a cryptid, or, like like, you know, a crypt, but it was also the tide. It's like all good stuff.
A tide in the crypt. There we go.
Laundry detergent.
So much potential.
So much potential, so much. Anyone else have thoughts on legends? And I'll maybe do some more on the bingo.
I'm excited to read new perspectives of like really well-known legends. So
Mm.
How they're gonna be twisted on their heads a little bit.
Like Babe the Blue Ox.
Yeah, babe.
Can legendary events be recent?
I'm sorry, what was that, John?
Can legendary events be recent?
I don't see why.
Probably.
I don't
As
know.
long as they're legendary.
Yeah,
I
I don't know.
think they could be in the future.
Yeah.
Could be.
True. I
Because
think
like there's like I'm wanting to make up my own legends that are like akin to the ones we know about.
well, I say go for it and see how it goes. Yeah, I could you could do definitely current futuristic ones. Yeah. All right. So for our bingo, our next word is action. Thank goodness, I just need to mix these up a bit more. And I'm going to do another one right now, and it's selfishness. All right, and how's our libs going, Jane?
Pretty good. Speaking of action, that's what we need. We need suggestions for verbs, present tense. Now,
Ooh.
so many ideas.
So what ones are you going for, Jane? What did you throw in there?
Oh, I haven't yet. I'm still trying to settle on the best one. The problem is I keep thinking of the most ridiculous words and then I forget that I'm gonna have to say them at the end if they get in.
I know, that's why I'm enjoying this. Anything that's
Which
over
is the
three.
hardest one.
Anything that's over 3 syllables is on there.
So you've all had the success of getting published with this season. Yay! And so everyone has their own way of celebrating when they have a story published or gotten accepted. So what do you do when, how do you celebrate when you find out your story is being published or when it releases?
People. I'm like, hey, I'm out of story. You should read it.
Oh, sorry, what was that, Rachel? Could you repeat? I had trouble hearing you.
I text a bunch of people and say, hey, I have a story out. You should read it.
Nice.
It's fun. Or
Good,
I write
good.
comedy. I write comedies for the most part. So I'm like, if you need a laugh, you could.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I do.
absolutely.
Yeah,
I do
and that's-
Facebook, and also I have a writing group that meets second Saturday every month. So it's always nice when I know when the story is going to be that before the second Saturday, so I can tell everyone. Otherwise, I just have to say something like, "It's going to be on a Wednesday in this month." I don't know which Wednesday yet.
Start getting them prepared even before you have all the details, which is just fine. Yes.
I tend to text my writing professor from college because I still keep up with him. And he's always so excited when I've got something and he reads all my stuff. And I'm just like, yes, I know my writing professor will support me and he will read my stuff. If nobody else does, he will. So I always like immediately text him when I have good writing news to share.
Excellent. Yeah, one of my professors follows my author page too, and she'll share it or she'll congratulate me, or apparently she'll even share it back to the school's English department page, which is always nice. But yeah, I also text different family and advertise on Facebook, and it's just so nice to get that support from family and friends. Yes.
I was
I
gonna
love
say
that. I'm
that's
loving
cool.
seeing people in the comments saying what they do. Rose dances around her house shamelessly. That's the way to do it.
That is the way to do it. Yes, I'm one of those people when I tend to celebrate, I'm like, let's go get a burger. It's food. I don't know why.
I remember celebrating meeting one goal. I don't even remember what it was, but it had to be done. And I celebrated by doing the laundry, which I had neglected for like 2 months. So doing the laundry was my great celebration.
2 months.
I wouldn't be able
2
to do
months.
laundry.
That's
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to
amazing.
do that. Oh, but no, you neglected the laundry so you could write. So now you're going to celebrate by finally doing the laundry, right? Oh,
It was needed.
no, I bet, laundry, it's always needed, right? It never ends. Oh, especially with my dog. My dog is a shedder, and so talk about needing to do laundry. I look like I own a cat. I've had people ask me, what kind of cat do you have? Oh, it's a Shiba. It's a dog. But no, yes. Ah, what are some other celebrations you guys do? Any others?
Sometimes I'll bake something.
What
It
do you
depends.
bake?
My favorite thing lately has been scones or muffins. But if anybody has good scone recipes, that's my thing right now. So
Perfect. I have no recipes for you. As long as there's chocolate in there, you're good.
I accidentally came up with a recipe when I was trying to figure out a recipe for like gluten-free, dairy-free, everything-free bread, and then I made it, and it turned out like a scone, as you say.
send me that, Jane.
I might need it too. I know a couple of people in my family who are gluten-free. I also have a niece who's dye-free. So that's an interesting one.
Ooh.
Trying to watch packaging for that. Yeah.
Last weekend, I had to make a gluten-free, dairy-free, vegetarian lasagna.
Good luck.
Oh, it turned
Did
out
you
really.
Oh,
It
the
turned out really good.
vegetarian is the
Good.
vegetarian bit is where is it a lasagna anymore?
No,
Well, yeah.
the
So,
noodles.
but it was actually apparently it went over better than my regular lasagna. So, but and I make good lasagna.
Wow.
But it had like zucchini and carrots and onion and bell pepper and mushrooms in it. So that was like the meat layer. And so yeah, imagine it was pretty good. I didn't get to eat it, but I would make it again. So you're all invited, next anthology, come on over. I'll make vegetarian, gluten-free, dairy-free lasagna.
Wait, I'm there.
Can't wait.
Did you know that technically, if I'm remembering what I learned years ago in college, if I'm remembering that right, apparently we all are supposed to be dairy free, and somewhere along the way we mutated. It's like technically a mutation. We were supposed to not be able to drink milk after a certain age, but now we all can. So we are all mutants.
Like that was like a mutation that like apparent like being able to digest milk was a mutation that really common in the Mongols, who were able to ride horses and milk them and drink the milk. So they basically their war vehicle was also their canteen.
Wow.
And
2 in
I
1,
guess
2 for the price of 1.
Being able to digest milk after weaning provided an advantage for survival, and that's why it's hung around.
I'm not complaining. I like being able to digest milk. I feel so sorry for all of you who can't. And I also heard, I have a friend who's got seasonal dairy disorders. Like she becomes dairy free in the summer, and she's like, it's the weirdest thing. She can't drink it or do any dairy like from a certain month to a certain month, and then she's fine again. It's really strange, but
Something must be
she says it's
interacting.
apparently a thing.
Yeah, that is weird. I've
Yeah.
never heard that. I'm guessing something's interacting with the dairy that's out during those months, and that's why
It's
affecting
it's
her.
also the temperature. Also, temperature does actually have a big difference. I only know this because I have a similar thing.
Fascinating. I
gonna
was
say-
so shocked when she said.
Dairy is also like if you can or can't digest dairy, it's geographic because it does follow certain populations. Some populations don't have the genetic ability, so some do. So some parts of the world, that's why you'd have very little milk-based recipes.
There you go. Excellent. All right. I did not know all this about dairy. Good things to know, right? You never know what you're going to learn at a Havok party.
Exactly. Come to a Havok launch party, learn fun facts.
Oh,
Vote for Havok libs.
Oh, wait. So can we make up fun facts too?
sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let's make up some fun facts. I
All right.
think that it's well known that if you eat dairy, your intestines actually turn blue.
I've
Yeah.
heard that. I've definitely
No,
heard
if you eat silver, then your skin turns blue.
Your skin turns blue. Wow.
Oh, this could be a new Havok game. Fact or
Yeah.
fiction?
Just
Oh, that
The
is
chain,
that, that's a
it's
good
a well
idea.
it's a well known it's a little known fact that the chain beds is a merger between beds and beds.
Oh,
I actually, there was a president that died after he drank milk. He was outside all day and then like he came in and ate cherries and drank milk. And people have always wondered if that's what killed him, if they were poisoned or something. But
Oh,
there is a
Zachary
president that
Taylor.
was died. Yeah.
Who
I
was it?
heard that.
He's like the only. He's
Okay,
like the only.
but now take that and like make it into a story. Like,
yes.
so was the milk poisoned, or was it, because of the heat? Like, what is the answer, Hannah? What is the good story there?
You'll
Okay,
find
so
out in my
legendary
next legendary story time.
Maybe. Oh, I just had a fantastic idea. Do you guys know of the story of the Australian Prime Minister who went for a swim and never came back?
No.
He swam in the ocean. I believe it was Harold Holt or something like that. I can't remember.
And he's still swimming?
Yeah, still swimming to this day. Don't know.
He turned
just like
into a merman.
honestly went to the beach, had a swim, was never seen again.
He got caught in the Bermuda Triangle, which is way off from Australia.
He was a good swimmer.
He wanted to visit South America.
There you go.
This is our next submissions. You all have to write a story about the Australian Prime Minister who was lost at sea, and give me your best explanation of what happened. That's what I want to see.
We need one full season on this guy, and we're gonna have a whole month worth of like 5 days, 4 weeks of what happened as Prime Minister. Oh, excellent.
It's because he wasn't really a prime minister. He wasn't really human.
Oh.
He was from an alien race who lived at the bottom of the sea. Like at the bottom of the sea, at the Marianas Trench, is a portal to outside our universe. And that's where he came from. And it was time for him to go home. He took Elvis with him.
Sounds believable.
And the
Or-
portal, the
I believe
void,
it.
Jane. The portal
Yes.
leads to the void. That's where the Australian Prime Minister went, to the void.
Yes. And then he
It's
became a
fucking brilliant.
notorious pirate in
Exactly.
space.
It was said with such confidence too. Like, I'll believe it.
Oh gosh, and I was going to say he actually came with the secret mission of taking over the world, and when he went for a swim, his the mothership came and took him away before he could do that.
We've also got the story about like who what are the laws of succession and who takes power in Australia after that.
Turned into a kangaroo.
Here's a question. Does Australia really exist?
Or is it just a figment of our imaginations and made up accents?
I mean,
Maybe.
I've never been there. Have you?
Does
Have you
Jane
been there?
really exist?
No.
I'm just a really
Jane
good
is
actor.
just part of this
how do
really
you know-
large, Jane's just part of a
if you went there, how do
conspiracy
you know-
theory to get us to believe in Australia. Actually, I think she admitted on social media in a thing she did with Magnus that she's really Canadian. She was telling the truth and none of us believed her.
So here's the thing. Jane is actually from North Dakota, and that's her accent. She makes you think she's from Australia, but she's not.
If that's
Okay,
true,
that's
then
the
you gotta get
season.
up.
The season after the missing prime minister is Who Am I Really? Who really is Jane Marie? What's her secret? What's she on about? Give me your best shot.
Because like last time, didn't you have roosters or was it what was a goose? And
It
everyone
was
knows there are no geese in Australia, so proven, just like that.
it was a
All
rooster.
all I can say is that Jane and Magnus supposedly work together, but have you ever seen them in real life in the same room?
No,
What?
we've never been in the same room.
The
I don't
same
know if I've
breakout
ever seen
room.
Magnus at all.
Oh. So I see some of our future themes. Season 11, Jane Marie. Season 12, Magnus.
That'll be the name of the season. Jane Marie. And then we'll have to figure out like what are the 5 themes? Like Jane, Marie, who am I? Where am I from?
Australia, really?
And the goose.
The goose.
Yeah.
Yes.
And honk.
Honk.
That's
Don't
a
you-
whole season of itself.
Right there.
Isn't it emus that you guys had trouble like fighting off emus and then like just gave up fighting the emus or something? in
Yeah,
Australia?
yeah.
See, that's another reason why Australia doesn't exist, because it's a ridiculous story.
There was like historical, they had to build like this the rabbit fence that was like massive across like a humongous portion of Australia, because there were so many rabbits just going crazy.
Oh.
And there's still a lot of emus today. And obviously kangaroos. All the things. We all have one. We ride it to school or work. I work from home though, so mine just stays in the cupboard, records audiobooks with me. Pretty quiet animal, so it works pretty well.
Yeah, I don't hear nothing, so it's gotta be pretty quiet. Oh, all right. So for our next bingo, we got humor. I'm gonna do another one right now. We got rage. All right, have we hit any bingos yet? Have I? All right.
So
And-
Jane, I don't know
I
if
just
you're
got bingo.
What's that?
I just got 5 in a row.
Yay!
Woo!
Excellent. What 5 in a row did you get?
I got crime, humor, the free space, sacrifice, and rage.
Nice. Good bingo. Excellent.
Nice one.
You will be getting one of the prize packs. Excellent.
I technically missed the first 2 you gave, so I have no idea, but
The first one I gave was sacrifice.
what was your second one?
Steampunk.
Oh yeah, I definitely don't have that one. Okay, we're good. I'm caught up.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So besides writing, what else do you guys enjoy doing? Looks like Ryan's got an answer. Yeah.
Did cheating to say reading?
Not cheating at
It's
all.
not cheating. I do it too.
I was gonna say
I design book covers.
Yes,
Do
you do.
graphic design work. I draw. I play Breath of the Wild way too much, but I still haven't been able to beat the game. Yeah, that's what I do.
You looking forward to Tears of the Kingdom?
Oh yes, but like I'm not kidding when I'm like saying not even close to finishing Breath of the Wild. I've got 2 divine beasts, and I just found all the photos in the game, so I think I'm probably half done. And I've been playing it for 7 years. So I'm not prepared for Tears of the Kingdom, but I want to play it.
Yeah,
But
you could go back and
that's
forth,
what happens.
right?
Yeah. It's gonna be great.
I've actually never played Legend of Zelda. I have a Switch, and so I've played a little bit of Skyward Sword. I'd like to update to the new system. I have a Wii, excuse me. I have a Wii. I don't have a Switch. I want to get a Switch. But I've only played Skyward Sword so far, but I've read all the manga, and that's really good. If you never read the manga,
Yeah,
there's a
the
recommendation. for you.
manga's good. The manga's good. Skyward Sword's a solid game. I started on Twilight Princess, I think on the Wii. I think it was on Wii. That one was really good because the graphics were gorgeous, and they've never done graphics like that since, and it's a little sad, but it's fine. But yeah, definitely upgrade for Breath of the Wild. It's like the best Zelda game, except for maybe Tears of the Kingdom. We don't know yet. But that's off topic.
Hey, it's close enough on topic. Oh, what was that? All right. Now, any other activities that people enjoy doing? Hikes, walking, more video games?
I like.
I
I don't know.
sorry, somebody else go.
Yeah, Victoria, I think you were just going to say something.
I said cross stitch.
I love cross stitching.
Fantastically too, I might say. You do a very nice work.
Thank you,
I'm gonna have
Jen.
to see some of your work one of these days.
But you know,
Haley, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say, getting outside, going on walks, hiking. I like baking too. Trying to think, I'm like, what do I do now when I'm like not working and not writing and not reading? It's like I have hobbies, I just don't know what they are off the top of my head. It changes a little.
No, I know exactly what you mean.
It's for boring people who just like books.
Yeah, we read, so all of our pastimes is whatever our characters are doing. So I rock climb, I sword fight.
Just casually save the world.
Yeah, there you go.
Just my, everyday hobby.
I like going on beach swims and returning alive.
Yeah, man.
Personally, one of my hobbies, being alive.
Did you read on YouTube what they were saying happened to him?
Yes, I did.
That the mob took him out, and then there was a discussion about whether there really was a mob in Australia. So, is there a mob in fictional Australia?
Well, fictionally, yes, absolutely.
But you can't talk about it, right?
Obviously not.
Yeah,
Fight Club.
because you're queen of the mob. Oh, sorry.
What's your mob name, Jane?
I don't know. Everyone should decide it for me. Tell me. Vote in the comments. What's my mob name?
That's the other season theme that you have to work with.
The honker. That's the best one already.
I like that one.
Hatchet nosed honker. No. Honker nosed hatchet.
I got a police text the other day saying that they were like missing persons thing. Have you seen this man? He goes by the name Fang. And I was like, well, that's a suspicious kind of name. How did he get that?
And he probably just casually introduces himself like that. Hey, I'm Fang.
Hi, Fang. Nice to meet you.
Oh. Well, some of the activities I do outside of here is I work actually in a board game and comic book shop, so I read comics and play board games. Anyone else is a board game fan around here? Ooh, Hannah, Lisa, Haley, yay, Rachel. Yay, I'm not alone. So what are some of your favorite board games? Share.
Gravel.
Unstable Unicorn.
Do you like to play
Card game,
really
but-
complicated games like Eldritch Horror or anything like that?
I played Eldritch Horror. I prefer Mansions of Madness myself.
Oh my
but,
gosh, it's so fun.
I've been meaning to play the Lord of the Rings version of that, Journeys Through Middle Earth, but I haven't gotten it to it yet.
I need to look that up right now. I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, so yeah, if you played Mansions of Madness, there's a Lord of the Rings one called Journeys Through Middle Earth.
That's incredible.
Yes, I get a chance to sometimes play with like family at home too. It's like recently we actually played a Clue escape game. That one was really fun. And it was cooperative. We all worked together. And we got it, and we actually won. We figured out who the murderer was. We took a couple of wrong turns as we were learning the system of the game, because some things didn't get read that needed to get read. And so we missed a few things, but in the end we ended up winning, which was amazing. Yes. All right. So
I really like
think
the game Everdell. I don't know if anybody else has ever played that.
heard of it, haven't had a chance to play it. I sadly know so many games, but haven't played them.
It's a cool name though.
So cute.
I've heard of
Oh
it,
my
but-
gosh, the art is so cute too. It's like Animal Crossing, but cottagecore, I guess, is the best way I can describe it almost.
That sounds
What
great.
was the game name?
Everdell. I can post a link if you guys want to, or type the name. It doesn't matter.
And share a link.
Sure. My audio is not being the best tonight, so I miss sometimes some of your syllables. So I'll take a link.
Everdell, like Hannah said, the artwork for Everdell is really beautiful. And it's also a good balance of being a Euro game, but it's not a heavyweight Euro game. And if you know what I mean, you're a gamer and I'm proud of you. Yes. So yeah, it's a good game. But also jumping back to the favorite game ones, it's hard. My family has like 4 cupboards full of games. Yeah, almost like
Sounds like you got a good collection there.
Yeah, but some of the ones I really, or ones we've been playing recently that are like Machi Koro is a really fun one. That's another like kind of lighter one without being too heavy. Trying to think what else we've been playing. Terraforming Mars is kind of, you know, classic-ish and good. Like you were saying, Rachel, the kind of escape one, like at-home escape room kind of detective style games, like playing those. Yeah, we play a lot of board games.
Sounds good. It sounds like you know a lot of the stuff we sell at my store. So yay! I
played. Sorry, I played a game called Hues and Hues. It was a color game, and we played it in college for the first time. And it was me and my graphic design class, and then some of their spouses. We were all in grad school, and we were playing it, and it was fun. And we all thought, yeah, we're artists. We're good at this game. You want to know who won the game? It's the colorblind guy. Yeah, the colorblind guy won the game. We were all like, what's wrong with us?
It sounds like
of artists.
It sounds like me. I sit down to play a game and I've never played it before and I don't understand what the heck is going on and go, oh, hey, I still won. Yay.
Yeah. He just kind of was able to guess based off of the rest of the people on the board, but he was always the one lucky because he didn't have his own like subjective view of colors to throw him off. He just is like, oh, they're all around this area. I'll just pick this one. And because that's how the game works a little bit. We were all like, seriously? But it's a fun board game. I also like I guess they're technically card games, but Unstable Unicorns. I don't know if anyone's played that one, but that's a solid game.
Nice.
That is a solid game. And then there is one called 5 Minute Dungeon, which is a dungeon crawler type game where you all work together to beat the cards in the middle, and it's about 5 minutes. It's difficult because you have to complete it in 5 minutes. And then there's one my brothers and I really like for parties called Cards Christians Like. It is the exclusively Christian version of Cards Against Humanity, not just the clean version, but like it's for Christians. And it's really only funny if you grew up in a Christian circle, but it's hysterical. It is hysterical. So I highly recommend it. It was a Kickstarter and it was money well spent.
I actually
What's it called?
Cards Christians Like. It's a blue packaging, pretty simple, but it's hysterical. I should bring it to Realm Makers this year because I think we did play it at Realm Makers a couple years ago, so somebody might bring it regardless, but it's definitely
They had it at last Realm Makers.
Oh, did they?
Okay, yeah. It's kind of like the same energy as Super Fight, like as far as party going insanity at 1 a.m. in a hotel room. Yeah, it's fun.
Excellent. Yeah.
It says it's a party game, but with convictions.
There was one
Yes.
time.
Nice.
It's hyper relevant too because it's such a new game. So they have COVID in there. They have like politician names in there, and you can make some hilarious combinations. It is. I can't stop talking about it, but I will. I'll stop.
There was one time in our store we actually had a deck builder, and it was about the apostles and as they were going out to preach the gospel. I don't know why I didn't buy it at the time, but I've always wanted to play it. But it looked like a really fun cross between a board game and a deck builder. Yeah.
Cool.
I was gonna say,
There's
and
go ahead.
oh, I'm sorry.
No, I go, Ryan.
I'm sorry. Our internet is bad here. We've got a storm. I always like cut over people because I don't hear y'all. But we always recommend a game called Clank. It's like a deck building thing. You like go through this dungeon, collect treasures, and try not to die. And you're building your deck of cards. That's our favorite go-to.
I love Clank. I played Clank in space, and one of the things I loved the most was the you know, you'd read the extras on the card or the card name, and you knew they were referencing a famous sci-fi whatever character, creature, ship, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I can't, you know, I love the reference and how they like, but they changed it so you couldn't identify, you know, it was the original and it was new, and all the gameplay of that one was just also so much fun. I've been meaning to buy that one. That was a good game.
Oh yeah, their references are hilarious.
Oh, all right. So let's continue with our bingo and our libs. So for bingo, we have fairy tales and let's see, and magic. All righty. And
And we're on an adjective for the Havok libs.
on an
Send
adjective.
something in, something funny.
Nice. All right. Get those adjectives. And I think it's already 8:20. My goodness, where did the time go? So I'm gonna do a
Fairy
few
tales
more.
and what was the other word?
What was
Magic,
that?
fairy
Fairy
tales.
tales and
What was?
magic.
Oh,
All right. And I'm going to go ahead and do another one because we're getting a little low on time here. We'll also do temperance. So if anyone who enjoyed putting the themes on your bingo card, look out for that one. All right. So I see several of our staff here tonight. Woo-hoo! So I want to ask our staff, what is your favorite part of working with Havok? Jane!
My favorite part is if we get somebody who's submitted for the first time. And we get to work with them and just develop them and just give them a chance. And because that happened to me. And so I just love it when people who've taken that risk get a chance to see their name published. And it just makes me happy.
Yeah, because it is a risk, because it's, you know, you're sharing something that means a lot to you for your first time, and it can be hard, but it's also a lot of joyful. And if you don't take that next step, you won't get anywhere at the same time, right? And I know Teddy, she's not here tonight, but she loves hearing feedback from first-time authors or anyone who's had a good experience or whatnot. Haley, I think you were going to say something.
Yeah, so I was going to say I work in the marketing part of Havok, and one of the things I love is just the creativity of our team. Like all the ladies, so we designed the story covers that you guys might see on our social medias, and like, you know, the other ladies on are like, I made this cover, and I'm like, that's beautiful. How do you all do this every single time? Make something beautiful. Like, they're just super talented. And I also love, like, it's really cool to see you know, their skills and abilities that way, and just, you know, art in that medium. And then also being able to support the authors through building the story covers, because, you know, as a you know, before I joined the Havok, you know, staff, it was really cool. Like, you know, when I got a story cover, it's like, I got a story cover. Look, there's like a cover for something I wrote. It's like, sure, it's only 1,000 words, but I have a cover for it.
Like getting your first book cover.
Yeah, so it's neat to be able to, you know, support authors in that way, and, you know, yeah, and it's just really good team to work with. Like, you know, if y'all aren't volunteering for Havok, think about it. It's awesome.
Definitely, definitely.
I froze. There we go. My internet's slow again tonight too. But I love the story covers you're cranking out. You crank out so many so fast, and I'm so impressed all the time.
Well, yeah, those story covers are gorgeous. I can't wait to see them every time. I can't wait to see if one of my stories will get one and what it will look like. Yeah, those story covers are off the charts. They're beautiful.
You guys are amazing. Graphic team. Oh,
Yeah, I was super excited for Africa, which is not the anthology we're celebrating, but I finally got a story cover and I was like, yeah. So yay, bucket list. There we go. Boom.
I know what you mean. Yeah, and it was also in World Tour. I finally had a story published on all 5 of our main days. So I'm like, yes, I made it. Oh,
That's
'cause
great.
it was hard. It was hard getting all 5 of those days. I was rejected a couple of times, and so I was like, no, I want to get it. Oh,
What was your last day, or your last day to be accepted on?
Friday. So Fantasy Friday. Yes.
We're
That-
brutal. We're brutal in Fantasy Friday. What can I say?
You guys probably get a lot of good ones to choose from. You kind of have to be
Fantasy.
brutal.
Fantasy gets the most subs routinely.
Mm-hmm.
I think Techno Tuesday might get the least. So
I think once upon a time it was actually like Wednesday that used to get the least, or even Monday. So now it's Techno Tuesday more getting least.
I think it depends on the theme.
Yeah, it does. It varies a bit.
Yeah, because Monday used to have problems too. It depends on the theme. But Fantasy always has a ton.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember when I volunteered for Tuesday. There was 1 month that we only had 4 weeks we could accept for, but we had these 5 stories that we equally liked that were so good, and we just loved them, and we were like, okay, we want that one, sure, we'll take that one. And then we have these 2. You think they would notice we accept 1 too many and we could just shove them all in there? But unfortunately there were so many good ones, but unfortunately we had to reject one of those really good ones because it's just, sometimes the nature of publishing, right? That even though it was really good, you don't have all the room for it. But yeah.
How are sweatpants an accessory?
What's that? Well, oh. All right, so let's see. There's a little more bingo here. All right, so we have diligence and party, which we're doing right now. Yay.
That we are.
Yeah, we are. Yes, we are party animals, aren't we? All right. Yeah.
I've been trying to think of my answer to the question because I'm obviously on staff with Havok, but I also do like three different things. So I'm an editor for Fantasy Friday. A lot of people don't actually know that I'm an editor for Fantasy Friday because I never, ever, ever do the emails. And it's always the person who sends the emails that has their name on things. And so people are like, what? You do the edits? And I'm like, yeah, it's always me. You just don't know. It's a secret. So I'm the secret person who doesn't like sending emails. So you'll never actually talk to me directly. But I know who you are. I know. And I also do some graphic design stuff, and I'm also a co-host of the Havok Story podcast, which I will announce officially. No one else knows this. This is very fresh off the press. Magnus and I were talking about it this morning. We're finally getting our act together, and we're gonna do a half season of the podcast starting in July again. We've picked ourselves up off the ground. We just both got very, very busy, and the poor podcast got abandoned at the wayside, but we have picked it up from the wayside and we're gonna dust it off. Yay. And we'll be back. We'll be back very soon.
Oh yay, I'm so glad
I was kind of wondering.
I was
wondering
looking
what
at
happened to it.
Yeah, I was looking at it too the other week, going, "Oh, what happened to our
So
our
sad.
podcast?"
The truth is, what happened was I joined and I killed it. That's that's how it went down. Really, it was because I joined, and then because I was doing voice acting, I got all these other things with other audiobooks, and then I dragged Magnus into it, and now we're doing all of these full length novels together, and frankly did not have a spare second of time, and I'm currently behind on multiple deadlines, but that's okay. I'll get there somehow. And the Havok podcast will resurrect. It must resurrect.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. I always know, that the podcast is one of our hits, and so I'm looking forward to seeing that come back. But no, I totally get, coming, being behind. I also volunteer in marketing, and parties is one of the things I help with, but also I help with the prompts for the monthly prompts to get people's ideas going for the different themes. And there are some months where it's just like, wait, we're like a week away from the end of this month. Whoops. But no, it's the life that the only answer I have to some of that is life, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you just finished recording a book, didn't you, Jane? For voice.
Always. I'm always well, I'm not finishing as often as I am starting. I'll say that.
I thought I just saw like one of your reels or something on Facebook about you doing one.
Yes. There's one that I just finished the last one that I finished is coming out in like 3 days' time. That's Rem by Ashley Shaller. One of the ones coming up for me to record real soon, but I will not record quite as soon as I had hoped, is by, am I allowed to say this? Yes, I am. I am allowed to say this. It's by Hannah Carter, right here. And I'm so excited. I read the pronunciation guide and here's all the confusing things that you need to know before you read the book, and it was actually a lot of fun to read it, and I get to sing. That's gonna be fun.
Oh, I'm so gonna
I
have
can't
to
wait.
buy this.
It sounds like a fantastic story, so
Yeah.
stay tuned.
Oh, well, I will. I'll have to keep an eye apparently on Jane's socials for some of her audiobookness. All right. So as we also continue the libs, how far are we into the libs at this point?
I don't know. I zoned out for a while. What are we up to, Lisa?
We're working it. We have, after this one, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 left. So we are now on a noun. So we're trucking.
Perfect. Well, I'm going to do 3 more bingo names. So we have Hive, which is unique to our Havok groups. We also have Dystopian. And there we go. Who done it? All right. Has any more bingos come up?
I have a bingo.
You have a bingo for Jenna.
Yes, Jenna.
Let's see, I have it open on Photoshop, but fairy tales, hive, humor, and sacrifice are the ones I marked.
Nice, excellent, good bingo, yay! Oh, two more prize packs to go, and then we'll be going for the book. Yay! All right. Oh.
Hive and dystopian, right?
I'm sorry, what was that? Oh yeah, Hive and Dystopia. Yep. All righty, let's see.
And did you call who done it as well?
I did call out who done it, yes. All right. So yeah, has anyone here who doesn't volunteer for Havok ever thought about volunteering for Havok? Victoria, I saw your hand up.
Thought about it.
You
Thinking
thought
about
it?
Yeah.
Nice. And what department would you want to volunteer for if you did?
Ooh, I don't know. Maybe the graphics. I'd like to learn more about that. But maybe just anything you guys need. I'll learn whatever.
The graphics team.
Well, apparently if you want to learn, Jenith is, saying come, so feel free to, apply. Oh. All right. So I'm curious, when you guys do get time to write, what does your writer space look like? So how do you set up your space to sit down and write and have the wonders happen?
My favorite is outside,
Outside,
especially right now in the spring.
the
Where it
fresh air.
hasn't gotten too hot yet. So it's nice to just go out and listen to the birds and
Exactly. No, nothing distracting you, no noises in the house. No, for me right now, it's like the dogs distracting me. What are you getting into? Yeah, so I know exactly what you mean.
I write right there. I'm technically like on the edge of my desk, because if I were sitting at my normal writing space, you guys would be able to see my unmade bed and like half my laundry. So you don't get to see that. So this is much better background. So I'm like on the weird edge of my desk, but normally it's there and it's at like 2 in the morning because the distraction. And it's at night, and usually it's pretty dark in my room as I write dark things. So
Nice. Yeah, I have
Nice. Set the mood.
what was that?
Set the mood.
Yes. How do you set the mood?
Me?
Yes.
I have a cup of tea, whatever kind of tea I'm feeling. And then I have so this is my desk. It's called a piano. It's because I have a very small room and I don't have enough room for a desk. So I sit at my piano. Sometimes I play music when I'm stuck, and instead of getting frustrated, I play a song on the piano. It's a great method. And then I have this kind of like a string of I just don't have them on right now. And I've got things like my little Nebula saga. That's one of the stories that I've written. Things hung up there. It's just like a little bit of a vision board kind of idea that I can look up and think about what I'm doing as I write.
Perfect. Yeah, my desk is a bit of a mess. Let's see if I can get you a picture of it. Ah! It's kind of a no man's land there. So even though I have a beautiful desk to sit and write at, I usually sit and write at the on the couch.
That's what I was gonna say. I do have a desk. I do a lot of like editing and like work stuff at my desk, but then if I'm like in a super creative zone, I'll sit like on the floor in front of my bookshelves or on the couch. So depends on how I feel for the day. But I do have a desk. I use it sometimes. I don't know if like professional writers all write at their desk every time, but
That's what you imagine, but I highly doubt it.
But it's pretty
Wherever you are.
Yeah, exactly. In the car, grocery line.
a swing set.
There you go. A swing set. I like it.
We have a swing, like a big circle swing. It
across
looks
the
like a
street.
UFO at like there's a playground across the street, and it's like this like giant frisbee that you can sit on, and she sits and writes on it.
Oh, I love it.
I love
know
those,
things.
yes.
Those
Yes.
they're somewhat new in like the grand scheme of playground architecture, and I think they're so cool.
Is it like one of those ones where it's like a rope net and you sit on that?
It's made out of metal. It's got this like foam ring around it, so I guess so that they don't hurt themselves. But then it's connected to the top by like 4 ropes, and you can get it going really high. I think I've accidentally knocked her off of it before when she was like a little kid, but she's fine, I think.
Maybe.
That's great. There you go. I love in the YouTube comments, Emily Barnett has said that she wants a cottage to write in. I too would like a cottage in the middle of nowhere with a wraparound veranda. I could write there. That'd be nice.
My idea someday, and I'm have enough money, is a nice little external building. So I guess heated shed because winter in Minnesota is cold. Where I can go out to this little shed and it's got my bookshelves, it's got my computer. I can go out there and it's like my office and it's disconnected from the house, and I leave to work.
Yes. Sometimes it's good to have that specific space because it helps with the mindset, and you're like, I'm here at work, I'm not getting distracted, I'm not going to be, checking Instagram every 5 minutes. I'm just going to ride.
Yes. Yes. So yeah, speaking of, checking Instagram every 5 minutes, what's your top distraction from writing?
Actually that fits in with where I write, because we just got a puppy, and so my writing is usually like spent wherever I can, like keep an eye on her and kind of fend her off one-handed while typing with the other. But the biggest distraction. So
Yeah, my dog lately has been a pretty good distraction too. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. Girl or boy?
she's a girl, some sort of mutt. We got her free at a laundromat, so we're just having fun with her.
Oh, well, she looks beautiful. I love her. So apparently for me, yes, puppies as well as you two, but I'm sure, probably looking at puppies or kittens on there as well. Oh yeah, so for me, it's definitely the socials. It's sometimes even music, Marie. If I try to turn on music to clear my mind a little bit, next thing I know, oh, just one more. And next thing I know, an hour is gone. So
Yeah. I obviously, other than like the obvious social media distractions, which are so easy to fall into, I also get very distracted by other stories that I should not be working on, that I suddenly decide that I really, really want to. And and it's so hard to resist.
I usually come up with I usually
ahead.
come up with my ideas while I'm out biking, and then it's like I have to find some time to get them into the into a Word file, and there's like such a temptation to verify something on through with a Google search or something, and that can sometimes take you down. That can be often be a
Yeah,
distraction.
Yeah.
research. Sometimes
Yes.
I'll sit down fully prepared to get an hour in writing, and suddenly I'm researching quantum accelerators and black holes and string theory. I'm like, wait a second, I didn't need all of this. I just needed a little bit of this, but there's my hour learning about the fourth dimension. And I'm like, well, I guess it's helpful, but I didn't get anything actually written today.
I was researching for a very long time just yesterday about how hoverboard technology works. And that was actually really fascinating, but it was for like one sentence. I only needed it for one sentence. And I spent like at least an hour like reading all of these articles about how hoverboard technology would work. And then my character said one line, and that was it. That was done.
So how does hoverboard technology work? Asking for a friend.
Well, in a nutshell, there's a superconductor and there's magnets. The magnets and the superconductor interact and make it like push it up off the ground, but the superconductor only has that effect if it's really, really, really cold. And so then you have to have something else like piping through it or whatever it is to make it the right temperature. So whether that's, I've forgotten everything else. I can't remember what was super cold but yeah, that's the basic concept of it. Now you know. Come to Havok parties, learn fun facts.
I've got a hoverboard in a novel I'm working on, but I don't get into it that deep at all. But that's cool. Now I know.
Now you know. So if somebody asks you how it works, you can say, magnets, superconductors, it has to be really cold. You wouldn't understand.
Super cool.
Can you make yourself sound really smart at the next party you're at?
They ask you how it works, you say very well, thank you.
Oh, nice. Well, we're still working on our lips. Let me grab you a few more bingo words. Our next one is pride. After that, we have space opera and cowardice. All right. We're getting a little down in there in time. So what do you guys think? Should we start doing some of the choice announcements?
What was that first one, Ray?
Oh, let me double check. It was pride.
Pride.
Yes. All right. I think it's probably time to start with some of our choice announcements. So the top winners of our anthology, we always have 2 editors and readers choice. These people always win a paperback copy of the anthology plus a $100 gift card. So let's take a look. First up is our editor's choice. This story is especially close to our editor's heart. Here's what people had to say about it. A unique and gripping plot, sci-fi dystopian vibes, and engaging characters. A perfect recipe for a memorable flash fiction that will leave you eager for more. The mix of future tech with a sense of high-stakes intrigue turns a mundane academic topic into the backdrop of a fascinating dystopian thriller. Terminator and Blade Runner vibes, the sympathetic characters I can cheer for. Give me more of this. A clever story full of irony drops you right into a fully formed story world with characters you can immediately envision and want to succeed. Such a clever premise and a sweet story. I would love to see more of these adventures in the future. I love the mix of mystery and grammar. So awesome. You may have already guessed by now, but let's make it official. The Editor's Choice Award for Havok Season 8 goes to Victoria Roberts for Proofreader.
Yay!
Victoria receives a paperback copy of the anthology with a $100 Amazon gift card. Victoria also has another story in the Typo Alliance world in the Vice and Virtue anthology, Structural Edits. Congratulations, Victoria.
Smooch.
Husband
Smooch.
there.
I love them. I love them.
No, I try to get a 5. He won't give a 5. Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, want to tell us a little bit about what inspired your story?
Yes, actually, funny thing for Proofreader. It was actually inspired by another author in the anthology, Kathy McCrum. So I can't even remember like what post it was exactly. But she like made a comment, and in the comment there was a typo. And then so like automatically afterwards she like commented again. She's like, I'm so sorry about the typo. This is what I meant. And as soon as she said that, I like just turned to my husband. I was like, and I just said, typos are just proof of humanity. And then like as soon as I said that, I was like, ooh, that would be like a good story. And then from there it just kind of launched into this whole universe and stuff. So it's all because of Kathy. So if Kathy's here somewhere, it's all because of you, Kathy.
Kathy is amazing.
Yes,
Thank
she is. Oh. Funny enough, we were actually just talking about how errors are proof of humanity amongst the Havok horde earlier today. So that is perfect. Thank you so much, Victoria. Oh, we hope you enjoy the anthology and continue to write for us. All right, so I see Lisa has her name changed to last one noun, so it sounds like we're getting down there for the Mad Lib. While you go ahead and fill out stuff like that, I'll also grab a couple more for the bingo. We have humility, author, and paranormal. All right. I'll let you take a minute to mark those down.
There is some bingos in the chat. I think Rose Q Adams got a bingo.
Any others?
I got one.
Yay!
And actually, you know
Wow.
what? I didn't have time to mark mine up, so I just made a copy of that one in the email. So it's diagonal, author, rage, and then the free square, magic, cowardice.
Sounds like angles have
Nice.
been our most popular. All right. So that is
Deborah has also got a bingo in the YouTube chat.
Oh goodness, I think we now have 5 bingos. All right. So I'm guessing that's Deborah O'Carroll.
It's Deborah Bainbridge, but I don't know. That's just a.
Okay, nice.
Is it the same person? I don't
She's
know.
one of
No.
our first-time authors. Her first story is being published through
Oh, how
us. So
cool!
Gotcha.
Yay, Deborah! I don't know why I shouted that. I'm shouting from Australia.
which of
Alright.
course doesn't actually exist.
Australia. I think we're basically done on our Havok libs too.
Yeah.
Is that right, Lisa?
Yep. All right, now I just have to get this to Jane and she can read it because it's not a Havok party without Jane reading a story.
Yes. I have to get my serious face on, otherwise I will laugh too hard and I won't be able to read.
Jane, if I just put it in the editorial folder, can you just pull it from there?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
I will find it.
It's titled Once Upon a Time.
Got him. Okay. Am I going? Am I on now? Is this what we're doing now? Or are we
Well,
gonna
yes, but hold on. Let me spotlight you because I think this needs to be spotlit.
Yes.
Excellent.
All right. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me change my name.
Are we ready?
Okay.
I also pull a lot of funny faces while I read. My eyebrows move a lot, so enjoy watching that. All right. Once upon a time, in a hobbitish town nestled deep in the heart of a gelatinous forest, there lived a curmudgeonly woman named Mrs. Hulindevork. Mrs. Hulindevork was an undigestible and bumblebee yellow soul, but she had a secret vice that she kept hidden from everyone around her. Mrs. Hulindevork's vice was a cantankerous appetite for everlasting gobstoppers. Yes, you heard that right. Everlasting gobstoppers. She loved everything about them. The Swiss cheese-like consistency, the melt-your-face-off spiciness, the way it left her earlobe feeling discombobulated and twitter-pattered. Mrs. Hulindevork's love for everlasting gobstoppers was so intense that she had started to incorporate them into every aspect of her life. She started wearing everlasting gobstopper-shaped fedoras, carrying an everlasting gobstopper-shaped toupee, and even decorating her castle ruins with everlasting gobstoppers-themed decor. One day, while reading under a tree, Mrs. Hulindevork oozed upon a mysterious clawfoot tub of everlasting gobstoppers hidden behind a Havok anthology. She eagerly opened the clawfoot tub and took a bite of the everlasting gobstoppers inside. But as she plasticized, she comprehended that these were no ordinary everlasting gobstoppers. These everlasting gobstoppers were magical. With every bite, Mrs. Hulindevork felt her femur skedaddling, and her liver became Australian. She felt a surge of energy coursing through the parrot on her shoulder, and she knew that she had oozed upon something truly, slightly obsessed. From that day forward, Mrs. Hulindevork became an everlasting gobstoppers connoisseur, scrying the secret tower room for the most exotic and tubular everlasting gobstoppers she could find. She opened an everlasting gobstopper's sketchy hut on the edge of town, in her hobbitish town, and became known as the everlasting gobstopper's effusiveness among her friends and teleporting businessmen. And so Mrs. Hulindevork's vice turned into her greatest passion, and she lived snivelingly ever after, surrounded by clawfoot tubs upon clawfoot tubs of everlasting gobstoppers, each one holding a different flash fiction and different flavor. This was Your Effusiveness of the Everlasting Gobstoppers, a Magical Vice, read to you by Jane Marie, written by the Havok Horde. Thank you for listening.
Excellent. Oh my gosh.
Thank you, Chat GPT.
Oh, all right. Let's. Oh,
Get
and we're
that from
gonna post
AI.
that. I know in the past we posted those on Sundays. Will we post the story again for people to read on Sunday?
I don't know if it'll be this Sunday, but it will probably be a Sunday.
Sweet, excellent. So if you want to read it again, keep an eye out on our Havok page. All right.
We also are collecting all the stories, so I will cut it from this, and it will be its own little playlist video on YouTube. And please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, because if we get 100 subscribers, we can actually change the name to /Havok. We have like
Excellent.
70.
All right, so now is our announcement for our Reader's Choice Award. Let's see. Here are some of the reader comments on this story. So this story is selected by the most the story that was most popular amongst our readers. So you guys all helped choose this story. This is such a beautiful and yet snarkily funny piece. I love this story. What great transformation is taking place as he realizes what his treasure actually is. This is such a bigger story told in this short form. Wonderful. So much said in so few words. Leaves you wanting more. Can't believe how much I felt for these characters. Fine work. This heartwarming story was pure flash fiction magic. What a fun, loving grump of a main character. High marks. So without further ado, we present the winner of the Season 8 Reader's Choice Award to Emily Barnett for Dragons Are Not Heroes. Emily,
Woo! Emily! I think she was in YouTube before. I saw her name pop up.
Oh, well, yay. Oh, I would ask you what inspired your story, but you're not currently on with us unless you want to jump on. Oh, but yay,
We
Emily.
can just tell everybody what her story was inspired by. Somebody give me a good idea. What inspired her to write this story?
Yes. The name was Dragons Are Not Heroes.
She had her own encounter with the dragon, like, you know, the story is actually nonfiction, but it's presented as fiction, you know.
I like that. Anyone else?
The dragon claimed to come from Australia, which we know would have been a lie.
It's not a lie, it's fiction.
That's true. That's true.
Maybe the whole story just came to her in a dream and she just wrote it down in her sleep, and that was it. No editing. Just
It was perfect. Obviously.
There we go.
Amazing. Emily, what an author. Just inspired by true events and seen in a dream, and now presented to you. Congratulations, Emily.
Congratulations, Emily. Yay. All right. And then
maybe it came to her after she ate some everlasting gobstoppers.
There we go. Yeah.
In the sketchy hut outside of town.
I like that. That's a good one. All right. And then we also have our super reader. So this is a award that is given to someone who reads a lot of our stories and also comments on them. So let's see. Havok wouldn't exist without its authors, but we wouldn't exist without our readers either. Thank you, everybody. All right. Authors create wonderful stories, but without someone to share them with, it's an empty effort. In the Havok community, we recognize that many authors are avid readers, and our community celebrates both. There's nothing like getting insightful and encouraging comments on your story. Knowing that readers picked up on your jokes, that they enjoyed your characters as much as you do, that they are cheering you on, As you continue writing, this is priceless to an author's heart, and the Havok reader community is great at this. In season 8, we published 131 contest stories, which makes it all the more impressive that our season 8 super reader left 137 comments. The level of dedication our super fans have is stunning. It is with great appreciation and admiration that we award the Super Reader Prize of a $50 Amazon gift card to Arlan Gurig. Yay! Thank you so much for reading
Yes.
and commenting and encouraging our authors, Arlan. You're awesome.
And one of our authors too. He's written some, published some with us as well.
Excellent. Yes. All right. And because we believe in spreading the love, we're giving the runners up a chance to share a Havok gift membership with a friend of their choice. Rose Q Adams was runner up number 1 with 108 comments during the season. And SC Steamer left a 92 comments. Fantastic job, both of you. You'll be receiving an email with instructions on how to award a Havok gift membership to the person of your choice.
Yay!
Alrighty. So it looks like we got some bingo left. We still have to award our who gets a full bingo card, the enhanced book. Let's pick out a few more of these. Go ahead and shout out bingo if you end up getting a full card. So every square on your card is marked off. All right. So we have horror, thriller, fantasy, all right, enhanced in honor of the book, courage, laziness, all right, 1000, season 8. Do we have any bingos yet?
Caroline has 2 bingos. I have a bunch of bingos. I can't count them. But not a full card yet.
Not a full card yet. All
Corners.
right. All right. Supernatural, sci-fi, all right, gluttony, peace, all right, Phoenix,
Just got
mystery,
double bingo.
what
Woo!
was it? Horde,
That's a full card.
full card. Woo! We got a full card. Yay! All right. Thank you guys so much for playing. If you could send pictures of your cards and send them in to be confirmed, that'd be awesome. And then we'll also ask for addresses to send out prizes. All right.
The picture that I put in the chat, would that suffice?
Yep, I was looking at your card and let me take a look at it. Why don't you go ahead and send that over to us via either our Facebook or Instagram so we can kind of have everything there in one place.
Okay.
All right, and I think that brings our party to a close today. Yeah?
I think
know,
so.
It's always sad when it ends, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, I want to thank you all for coming and congratulate our anthology authors once again on all the amazing stories you wrote and for sharing them with us and all our readers. And we look forward to everything you're going to be writing in the future. Just a reminder for everyone, we are publishing the last of our world tour through June. So we got a couple months left to read the world tour. And we are also currently accepting submissions for legends. So go to our website to see all the different themes, deadlines, and we'll be hopefully putting up more prompts also online to help you guys generate some story ideas. All right, pre-orders are also available for Vice and Virtue right now, and paperback should be coming soon on Amazon. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys at our next release party for World Tour in the 3rd quarter of this year. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for partying.
Thank you.